In the heart of Tibet, hidden away from the world's view, lies a river with the power to shape destinies. This isn't any ordinary river. It's the Yarlung, a lifeline that journeys through some of the most stunning and dangerous landscapes on Earth. Yet this river is more than just water flowing through valleys. Its path has the potential to ignite tensions, even conflict, between three countries that rely on its flow. Now imagine the impact of one of those countries gaining control over this river's destiny, setting off a ripple effect that could reach far beyond borders. China has embarked on a quest to construct the world's largest hydroelectric dam along this very river, a project that promises to yield extraordinary power. But at what cost? When a nation gains control over such a vital water source, especially one that feeds into India and Bangladesh, questions emerge. What would China do with that control? Would this dam be a marvel of modern engineering or a means to wield power over its neighbors? And could this enormous structure, nestled precariously in an earthquake-prone zone, become a source of devastation? This is more than just a story about a dam. It's a story about power, control, and the fragile balance in one of the most geopolitically sensitive areas in the world. Let's delve into what's unfolding on the Yarlung River and why it holds the potential to trigger tensions, possibly even conflict, among some of the world's most populous nations. The Yarlung River and its significance. At first glance, the Yarlung River might seem like just another mountain river winding through the vast Tibetan plateau. But this river, which flows down from the Himalayas, has a unique story. In Tibet, it's known as the Yarlung, but as it crosses into India, it takes on a new identity, becoming the mighty Brahmaputra River. From there, it continues its journey into Bangladesh, where it sustains life, agriculture, and the intricate ecosystem of the region. The river holds an almost sacred significance for the millions of people living along its banks. In India and Bangladesh, it's not just a river, it's a source of survival. Farmers depend on its seasonal floods to fertilize their fields, and entire communities rely on its waters for drinking, irrigation, and everyday life. The Yarlung Great Bend in Tibet marks a sharp turn where the river carves out a path through one of the deepest canyons on Earth. This bend isn't just a natural marvel, it's the very spot where China envisions constructing a colossal dam, potentially altering the river's flow. Why is this spot so valuable to China? The answer lies in the steep gradient created by the river's descent from the Tibetan plateau into the lowlands. This drop in altitude presents a golden opportunity for harnessing energy. The faster the water flows, the more energy can be generated, and in the case of the Yarlung, the potential is enormous. This river has captivated China's attention for years, but now it's more than an idea. China wants to turn this concept into reality. China's ambitious dam project. Imagine a dam so powerful it could generate 60 gigawatts of electricity. That's nearly 3 times the capacity of China's current largest hydroelectric dam, the famous Three Gorges Dam. But the project China envisions for the Yarlung is even more ambitious. It's set to be built in one of the most isolated, challenging environments imaginable, where the river takes a hard U-turn through the Himalayan mountains. The plan? To create a system of tunnels, possibly extending up to 50 kilometers, that would redirect the river's flow through mountainsides embedded with turbines. These turbines would capture the power of water plunging from an elevation of nearly 2,870 meters down to 870 meters, a vertical drop that amplifies the force of the water. This would make it one of the most potent sources of hydroelectric energy anywhere in the world. The sheer scale of the project is astonishing. With towering cliffs forming a natural wall around this great bend, China doesn't even need a traditional dam wall on all sides, just one on the river's sharp turn. Experts estimate that the power generated by this dam could be enough to power entire regions of China, helping the country meet its ever-growing demand for clean energy. But such a massive project comes with its share of challenges. Why would China choose to pursue this, knowing full well the complexities, the costs, and the risks involved? For China, this dam isn't just about power generation. It's about positioning itself as a global leader in energy, technology, and influence. But at what cost? Engineering challenges and costs. The construction of this dam won't be easy, not by a long shot. Building a dam of this magnitude in the Himalayas, one of the most remote and difficult regions to access, requires overcoming seemingly insurmountable engineering challenges. Imagine trying to transport a 6,000-ton tunnel boring machine up the world's highest mountains, where roads are scarce, weather conditions are extreme, and altitude sickness is a constant threat. And then there's the cost. Engineers estimate that just digging the tunnels to reroute the river could cost tens of billions of dollars. These aren't just regular tunnels. They have to be reinforced with concrete and steel to withstand the tremendous pressure of water surging through them. The total bill? Perhaps upwards of $30 to $40 billion. And that doesn't even include the turbines and other equipment necessary to generate electricity. But even with all the preparation, there's no guarantee that everything will go smoothly. This area is one of the most tectonically active on the planet. The fault line where the Indian and Eurasian tectonic plates collide runs right through this region, making it susceptible to earthquakes. In 1950, an earthquake measuring 8.5 on the Richter scale struck less than 200 kilometers from here, wreaking havoc on the region. Experts warn that any dam built here would face a significant earthquake risk, not to mention the frequent landslides that plague the area. The question looms: if China manages to build this dam, overcoming the technical, financial, and environmental challenges, what impact will it have on its neighbors? Potential environmental and geopolitical risks. If this dam goes online, China could have control over the flow of water into India and Bangladesh. And in a region where every drop counts, that's a massive advantage. India, which has already had multiple border skirmishes with China, is understandably concerned. The dam's location is close to the disputed border with Arunachal Pradesh, a region both countries claim as their own. Historically, this border area has been a flashpoint, and tensions boiled over as recently as 2020. Now consider this. A dam of this magnitude doesn't just alter the flow of water, it could potentially dry up parts of the Brahmaputra, disrupting agriculture, drinking water supplies, and ecosystems. Flash floods, droughts, and unpredictable river levels could become the new normal for communities downstream. This isn't just about water, it's about survival. Experts warn that controlling the flow of the Brahmaputra would give China a powerful weapon, one that could bring India and Bangladesh to the negotiating table on China's terms. But such control could also lead to an all-out conflict. Two nuclear-armed nations, both with a lot to lose, could be drawn into a dangerous standoff over this dam. India and Bangladesh's concerns. For India and Bangladesh, the stakes couldn't be higher. Both countries rely heavily on the Brahmaputra for water, especially during the dry season, when the river sustains agriculture and local ecosystems. Imagine if China decided to restrict the flow, or worse, divert it altogether. The consequences for India's Assam region in Bangladesh's river delta would be devastating. Crops would fail, drinking water would become scarce, and entire communities could be uprooted. The historical tensions between India and China add fuel to this fire. The two countries have skirmished multiple times over disputed territory, and the idea of China building such a massive structure so close to the border only heightens India's anxieties. In 2020, when Indian and Chinese soldiers clashed in the Galwan Valley, it became clear that both countries are willing to assert themselves, even at great risk. A dam with this kind of power could push the region closer to conflict. China's motivation and energy strategy. So why is China so determined to build this dam, despite all the risks? The answer lies in China's energy demands and its vision for a carbon-neutral future. China is a manufacturing giant with factories that power its economy and drive its global influence. But all that production requires an immense amount of electricity, and currently, China relies heavily on fossil fuels. By 2060, China aims to cut its carbon emissions significantly. To do that, it needs massive new sources of renewable energy, and hydropower is key. This dam, with its potential to generate 60 gigawatts, could be a cornerstone of China's green energy future, helping to reduce its dependency on coal and oil. In a way, China sees this dam not just as a project, but as a necessity. Yet as ambitious as this goal is, it may come at the expense of regional stability. China's vision of renewable energy might push the boundaries of diplomacy, turning rivers into battlegrounds and neighbors into potential adversaries. This isn't just a story about a dam. It's about how resources can define power and influence, how water, something we take for granted, can become a tool of control. As China pushes forward with its plans, it raises a critical question for the world. How far will countries go to secure their interests, even if it risks destabilizing entire regions? For now, the future of the Yarlung remains uncertain. Will it be a force for progress, powering millions of homes and factories in China? Or will it become a source of division, sparking tensions that could escalate into something far more serious? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Will China's dam bring progress or provoke conflict? And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth analyses like this.